veganism is surging into the mainstream.
Everyone's vegan now!
Restaurants and supermarkets are rapidly expanding their vegan options. And the mainstream media is talking about veganism more than they ever have before.
For our health. We don't need to, it's unnecessary.
Just biologically and in our development as a species, we've grown canine teeth.
Where?
Canine
Show me
teeth.
yours.
Well,
they look very flat and blunt like a cow's
that's
teeth.
the molars at the back, but the canines...
What is fueling this rise in interest? Part of it can be attributed to the influence of vegan celebrities like Miley Cyrus.
I'm vegan!
And athletes like Lewis Hamilton.
I do feel the best I've ever felt in my life, in my 32 years. Physically, I feel the best I've ever felt. I feel incredibly clean and healthy.
And groundbreaking documentaries like What the Hell.
Everyone is buzzing about the Netflix documentary, What the Hell? The film challenges the way Americans eat and links meat and animal products to illness and is causing many to go vegan.
In this special report, we take a look at one of the key engines that's been driving the growth of veganism over the last 2 years. Anonymous for the Voiceless, or AV, is an animal rights organisation that's known for its Cube of Truth street demonstration. Founded in April 2016 in Sydney, Australia by Australian couple Paul Bashir and Asal Alamdari, the Cube has now gone global, spreading to 441 cities in 56 countries. AV estimates that at least 84,000 people have gone away from their demonstrations, seriously considering making the switch to a plant-based diet. Activist George Martin brought the Cube to the UK in December 2016. The simplicity and effectiveness of the demo saw it soon spread all over the UK, now operating in 56 different cities. But who are these activists that are spending their Saturdays on the streets showing slaughterhouse footage in the cold to people? Are they really as aggressive and militant as the mainstream media might want us to believe? And how do the public react to these potentially inflammatory demos happening on their streets in their towns and cities across the UK? Plant-Based News went to Bristol, UK to find out. Welcome to this special edition of Plant-Based News Spotlight. I'm Patrick Crom, aka Vegan Pat, and I'm reporting today on the largest ever Cube of Truth that's gone on in this city of Bristol, which is actually the second city to have a Cube of Truth demonstration. Now, as you can see behind me, there's one cube over here, and we've got actually 2 cubes going on today. So lots of activists come out here to show their support for animal rights. And I want to be seeing really if the mainstream media is right about this militant, aggressive, vegan activist idea. Speak to some of the activists and also speak to some of the public as well, see what they think of the Cube. So George, could you explain to us a bit about how the Cube actually works?
So it's sort of split up into 2 teams. Now the Cube team are actually the non-interactive part of the demo. So they have to stand there still, they don't talk. They're the guys that wear the masks and they hold the signs or they show the footage. Now it's their job to sort of just stand there, present them with the footage, the truth so to speak, and then the outreach team are the ones that actually engage with the public, asking the public questions about the sort of footage that they're looking at, trying to get people to actually open up their minds and actually think about what they're buying when they go into a store, because most people don't actually think about it.
Yeah. And what's the idea of the masks? What does that bring to it?
It's part of the actual aesthetic, and it's very effective because people are down the street and they think, hang on, what's going on here? And they actually want to go up and approach sort of and watch the footage. And it's that sort of statuesque feel that I think the mask gives about it. So you don't talk to those people. You're just there to, they're the sort of faceless people, just, and the focus, so to speak, is on the footage that we're showing.
So people feel more comfortable watching something if someone's not looking right at them, I guess.
That's it. You wouldn't want to go up to someone, just sort of look them in the eye as they're showing you that.
Sure.
That's it.
And how do the outreach work? Do people do they go up to anyone and talk to them, or how does that work?
Yeah. So if you're on the outreach team, obviously if you're looking around and you sort of see someone who's looking engaged in the footage, then you would go up to those people and approach them. So we're not sort of chasing people down the street with a leaflet or anything like that. if it's been a productive conversation, then we'll hand them one of our cards, and we've got specialised cards.
Can you show us?
Yeah. I'll just show to the camera there. So that's a card with our website. That's actually one of the older cards we've got. We've got some newer ones than that. So that's the card with our website on. That's got links to all the good vegan stuff on there, Cowspiracy and Forks Over Knives and all Earthlings, all that sort of stuff.
If someone's interested in veganism, seen the footage, you've got that sort of really easy way for them to follow up on that and learn more about it and hopefully make a kind of better choice.
Absolutely, and that's our aim. We want people to actually go away taking something from this demo, and that's what we also want to be objective with our counts as well. So what we do is we keep a tally of how many people we spoke to that we think took veganism seriously and who will actually go away with the intention of looking into veganism, potentially making the switch. And then at the end of each demo we actually announce that tally, and so far in the UK we've estimated that we've potentially converted thousands of people to at least either go vegan or at least massively reduce their consumption of animal products.
These guys have been getting involved in the Cube today. Have you all been inside the Cube?
Yeah, we were inside the Cube for quite some time, good hour or so, freezing cold.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah, it's pretty cold out there standing still, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Why did you guys feel like you wanted to come out here today and sort of spend your Saturday doing this rather than just putting your feet up or whatever it is?
Well, we all love animals, don't we? And
love animals?
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of stuff lately on Netflix, and probably same as hundreds of other people, and pretty shocked about what's on there, and we really want to make a change, don't we? And feel that animals deserve a bit more respect, and we've all gone vegan a few months ago, and it's going very well, and we want to give that message to people.
How are you finding eating vegan, the vegan food?
I find it quite easy. I found it kind of hard to give up eggs though, because I really liked them.
Right.
But we're trying new foods.
Even though you really like eggs, what is it? Why do you feel like it's important not to eat them?
Because the animals are being really badly treated.
Yeah. So it's not fair for us to treat them badly just for eggs, really, is it?
No, it's not fair.
I'm here with
John.
John, what do you think of this going on here today?
I think it's a very good cause. Something does need to be said. The state of the meat industry, in particular, is pretty horrendous. I've seen a lot of these videos before, and it's good that it's getting a lot more exposure.
Right.
People are seeing some things.
So you're not vegan yourself, are you?
No, I'm not even a vegetarian, which makes me feel a little bit bad actually. Stood here, but it's something I've definitely thought about.
So do you, when you see these guys here, do you think of them as sort of militant, aggressive people? What do you think of these activists?
No, I mean I think the sort of the anonymous masks have got a bit of a bad rep because sort of other particular hate groups have used them before. And I must admit, when I walked down here, I was like, oh, what's this going on? Is it EDL or something? But as soon as I saw it was animals and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, fair game.
So you think they got a fair point to be out here showing this stuff?
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely right. If people don't say things, then you're never going to get change, are you? Sure. And change is what needs to happen. So
Aaron, when did you go vegan?
So it's been about 2 weeks now, and literally it was because of the Cube of Truth.
Oh, right.
I literally just bumped into a guy, and we had a long discussion, and he recommended the documentary What the Health, and literally after that, vegan overnight, throughout all my throughout all the chicken, throughout all the milk, and literally stocked up on seeds, beans, lentils, vegetables, soy milk, and why can't everyone be like this guy? Why can't it should be this easy? Yeah, man. How important do you see this Cube demonstration to create new vegans?
Well, it's a very powerful form of activism. It's one of the most effective forms of activism I've seen, and if the outreach is done correctly, it can be a very effective communication there. Obviously, bringing what happens in a slaughterhouse and on farms out into the public is a great way to steer the public away from consuming animal products. I don't know a more powerful form of activism than showing someone what happens in a slaughterhouse, because it dispels the myth inside of their brain that they've manufactured through some type of programming. So they go, wow, is that really what happens in a slaughterhouse? Yeah, so slaughterhouse footage doesn't lie, does it?
Yeah, and what do you think the advantage of being out here showing and then be able to have a conversation rather than just sending people videos on Facebook and YouTube? What do you think the benefit is when you can speak to people in real life?
Well, because there's a danger in showing people slaughterhouse footage and animal cruelty footage, because then they think, without a conversation, they might think that they can just go buy free range or go to the local butcher where they kill them humanely. But when you have an outreacher, you can explain to them there's no humane way to do this. Yeah, this is horrible what's happening in this particular farm, but there's no humane way to exploit an animal, to enslave an animal. So with an outreach, you can give them the full comprehensive abolition idea of veganism.
All right, guys. So when you saw this today, what were your first reactions?
I thought it was really shocking.
Shocking.
The way that the animals were being treated.
So did you have a look at some of the footage then?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I saw a lot of blood.
Right. And had you seen sort of footage like that before anywhere, or?
No, I hadn't.
You haven't?
No.
Yourself? Or?
Yeah, sort of on Facebook you see the sort of odd things about the way animals are treated. Yeah, and it's quite shocking, especially if you see it just in the centre of town as well. You see a demonstration about something, you think it must be quite important. Yeah.
What did you think of the masks as well?
I recognised that it was the anonymous mask, so that immediately captured my interest.
Captured your attention.
To come over.
Guessing you guys eat meat and things like that.
Yeah.
What do you think of people like us vegans who are showing this stuff?
I think it's good to raise awareness of how it happens, because you don't always see behind the scenes. You see the meat in the supermarket, but you don't really think about how it got there. So it's interesting.
A lot of people say to vegans they don't like them pushing their views on. Have you ever heard that sort of thing? And kind of being aggressive. Do you see it like that as we're doing that, or do you see it as, I mean, how do you see that?
I don't really think it is, because it's not as if you're going up to people in the street and you're like shouting your views at them. I think it's better that way, because a lot of the time, if it is like fly posting and someone kind of telling you, oh, you have to be vegan, people wouldn't listen. But if you can see it, then it's like a different story, really.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's the same way. Like, you're not exactly. You asked about our opinion. You didn't try and force it down us. You showed us, and then we sort of make our own minds up. And obviously, most people are going to think the way these animals are being treated is shocking, because it is. You can see in the video. Nobody can argue that it's not. So I guess the way you've allowed people to give their opinions quite good, rather than sort of shoving it down our throats.
Has seeing this today kind of made you think a bit about what you're eating a bit more?
Yeah, it has actually made me think twice about it. Like, I'd never really paid attention to the whole veganism thing that much before, but it's made me think about it.
If we gave you some information, would you be open to having a look at it and checking it out? Some links, some websites, some documentaries?
Yeah, I'd have a look at it, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, so I'm here today with Pete, and how did you get involved with the Cube of Truth?
Well, last year, February, which was the first Bristol Cube of Truth, I'd just become vegan as a sort of New Year's resolution, and saw something like a little bit of online stuff that I came on, and thought I'm going to go down and support these guys, more like in a supportive way, thinking like I'll come and get involved. And then spoke to a really inspirational guy called Jayesh, very well known within the AV Cube society, so he's a really good guy, and I think although I was vegan and I could have a really good conversation with him, I think the thing that was really good for me was he told me that it wasn't just good enough to be vegan, that to actually speak up for the animals was a sort of almost a moral imperative for being vegan, and I really got that concept, that I felt like I'd made the transition, so I'd done my bit, but actually
then speaking to him made you think about.
Absolutely, I think well, it actually isn't good enough, and we all need to play our part, because as I was ignorant one day, if no one had spoken to me, I'd have never made that transition, and it's really our kind of duty to kind of spread the word. So he was a real inspiration to me to come out and join in.
A lot of people they might think of activism as like a chore, like they have to sort of do for the animals, as like a thing they have to do, but I mean, do you find yourself quite enjoying the activism you do at the Cube of Truth?
Oh, absolutely. It's thoroughly uplifting. There's no better feeling than to go away and to think that you've lit a spark in somebody that they didn't have before they got here. And they can walk away with information, and I think they don't see you as someone who's trying to sell them something. They only see what's on the cards. There's the truth. And I think when you give people the truth, there's very little to
powerful, isn't it?
It's a powerful thing, yeah, absolutely.
So I came down to the Cube of Truth about a year ago, and I actually met Patrick there, who was doing some outreach, and I was already vegetarian at the time, but I considered going vegan for a few weeks. And I think you sent me away with a few leaflets about
I think it was about. I told you a bit about dairy because I was saying about. I think I said to you, a lot of people they drink dairy every day, but they have no idea what the process behind that was. So
I think you said to me that it was the fact that we drink the milk from another species, and I kind of went away thinking, you know what, that is absolutely mad.
You never thought about that before like that, right? Okay. And then once you learned about dairy and things, you just made the switch, did you?
Yeah, so I started thinking about other things, kind of like, especially how we treat, the females of that species, and then the more I thought about it, I kind of figured this is actually all a bit messed up, and I should definitely give up dairy.
Yeah.
What have you been doing so far?
I've not been doing any activism. I went vegan 2 years ago, and it's about time I get on it because, yeah.
But you said you've been in the Cube for a little bit?
Yeah, I've been holding the sign, and a lot of people are interested in what we're doing today, so it's good.
So is it sort of going as you expected, or is there anything that you didn't really quite expect?
No, I didn't know what to expect because I've never been to anything like this before, so it's a really interesting experience. It's great.
Darling, don't leave. Darling, don't.
One more question. So if the animals were able to communicate to humans, so farm animals and things like that, what do you think they would say to humans?
Please don't do this to me. The simplest thing. Just they will say, please don't do this to me.
And is there anything else that you wanted to share today?
Yes, I will say, one of the best images I've seen in the center for a long period. And that presentation is well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this as well.
What would you say to people at home who maybe don't get into much activism and are just vegan? What would you say to them in terms of making that next step?
I would say that there's a huge injustice going on and you're standing beside and watching it happen, and that is an injustice in itself. So as a vegan, you're a vegan for a reason, because you found out about something. Now if you're going to be a bystander and witness something horrific happen without speaking out about it, where is the justice in that? So I'd say don't be scared off by the word activism. You can advocate in the most polite, respectful way that you want. You can advocate in your own way. It doesn't even have to be street outreach. It can be cooking food. It can be any other form of advocacy you choose that best resonates with you. So don't be scared off by the word. But as long as we're all doing something, because now that you have the duty to act.
Great, thanks a lot, Joey. And just want to say thanks for representing veganism in such a great way on the media recently.
Give me some punch.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Nice one. If you'd like to get involved, go to anonymousforthevoiceless.org and click locations to find your nearest cube. Then follow the link to join the Facebook group. If there's no cube in your area and you'd like to set one up, simply contact AV via Facebook Messenger. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Plant-Based News Spotlight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.